Hey guys, so we have some big Nvidia GPU availability and pricing updates. Of course, we all know GPUs have been in stock a little bit more, but prices are also coming down. Let's discuss some pretty big changes. And something that's priced pretty good is a Windows CD key. Today's video sponsor is going to be VIP-CDKdeals.com. Very simple process. You can get a Windows 10 Pro CD key and remember to use code CC20 for a nice discount. Hey guys, Thiago with Classical Technology here. Remember to subscribe, smash that like button if you like GPUs, building PCs, and everything to go with it. So let's discuss the Nvidia, specifically GPU availability and pricing. Now, previously, AMD GPUs were always in stock because their prices were just way too high. People didn't really want to buy them. Even though, it has to be said, AMD does have some pretty great GPUs this generation. Nothing against that, like the 6900 XT, great performing GPU. The problem is they just went up in price way too much and people weren't willing to fork out that extra cash for AMD as they were clearly with Nvidia because we barely saw any Nvidia GPUs in stock at all. Now, I'm going to reference a few places. First, of course, it's my favorite Micro Center, and I know not that many people have them around them, but I'm just using Micro Center as sort of a gauge for what's going on in the GPU market in general, because if Micro Center has nothing, that means most likely other places in the US are also going to have absolutely nothing, including online. But if they start to get stock, it means that things are improving little by little. Of course, it's nothing atypical. The Micro Center, and as well as other stores like Best Buy and Newegg, even Amazon, they restock fairly regularly. It's just the fact that the GPUs sell out so significantly fast that most people don't even have a chance to be able to buy it when it actually comes in stock. What makes this situation now a little bit different as we're in February of 2022, it's markedly better now than it was during the last several months and including most of last year in order to get a GPU. A couple of things happened. First, the price went up across the board. You can say officially. We're not talking about scalper prices. That was the problem in the beginning. Nvidia would sell a GPU at $699 for a 3080 MSRP. Then somebody would buy that GPU, turn around and sell it. At first, it was $1,200 or $1,300 when it first started really going up. As cryptocurrency ramped up in popularity during 2021, that around May quickly turned into maybe $1,800 to $2,000 for that same $699 GPU. So you see the pattern here. It started going up and up and up. And then cryptocurrency will go down a little bit. That GPU sometimes would go between $1,500 to $1,700. What happened here, when Nvidia had the chance to introduce the 3080 again as the 12 gigabyte model, they flat out didn't give any MSRP, so no more Founders Edition at $699. They want to bury that under the rug, way too cheap, because the market price obviously is much, much higher that people are willing to pay. So they released a 12 gigabyte version of the RTX 3080, and now this one, even though it doesn't have an official MSRP, the cheapest you can generally find it is maybe in the $1,200 range from EVGA, the cheapest third-party AIB partner. More than likely, you're going to see it for $1,400 to $1,500. That's pretty much very close to what a 3080 Ti territory should be, and not to mention close to that 3090 price from the Founders Edition. Now, of course, that one is well over $2,000 now for most 3090s, or at least close to it. So Nvidia raised the floor for the MSRP, perhaps to take advantage of all of the insane pricing that's been going on, and perhaps to prepare us, and when I say perhaps, I mean definitely, both of these things, to prepare us for much higher pricing for the next generation. 3090 Ti, not technically next generation, but that's probably going to be the same thing. Probably going to be really, really expensive, might not even have an official MSRP. The next generation, RTX 4000, going to be very expensive. So that's the first point you have to know. Officially now, and not scalper pricing, the floor is raised. You're never going to see these MSRP again. If you're waiting for the GPUs to go back down in price, they will from a certain level that they're really highly inflated right now. If before your 3080 price was up here at $2,000, people said, we'll wait until it's $700 and then you buy it, of course, a great deal. But now that doesn't exist anymore. The new price floor is going to be around that $1,300, $1,400 because that's what Nvidia has set. That's what the demand in the market is. So it can go down a little bit. Prices will go down, but it's not going to be drastic like it would have been before. Everything, the entire game has really been changed, and the bar is set at a much higher level. So, having said that, seeing these GPUs in stock is one thing. Another thing, prices have been going down. Now, of course, never expect the old MSRP like we just spoke about, but if we view another source of GPUs, this is a company called antonline.com. They generally will have just the EVGA bundles, meaning they typically won't sell you the individual EVGA GPU, but much like Newegg, to take advantage of the high demand for GPUs, they're going to throw in some stuff in there that you may not really want. Like most of the bundles have a keyboard, a mouse. A lot of them will have a power supply, like an EVGA 750 or 850 watt power supply. I've seen the Intel 12th generation paired with some of these bundles. Now, they're not like the worst bundles in the world. They're pretty expensive, but it's not like the worst stuff. You could technically use the keyboard. It's not terrible. You could use the mouse. Once again, not terrible. The power supplies are typically pretty good. They're EVGA. So you end up paying a little bit more than you would have otherwise. Maybe it's close to a scalper price, but at least you get these other items. You may have some luck selling them if you don't really need them, or maybe using them in your build if that's something that you're buying. So the point here is, Antonline, every time they'll have their sort of restocking of the various EVGA GPUs. And the key thing here is that the pricing currently is the lowest that I've seen in several months. For example, their bundles for the RTX 3090 used to be right around $2,900 or a little bit more. You would get like a 3090, 850 watt power supply. Sometimes a CPU would be bundled in there, like I mentioned before. Now, that same bundle is at around $2,500. Still expensive if you figure that GPU should cost maybe $1,900 and something dollars. That's the MSRP from EVGA. So we're still considerably over, but it's not as bad as it was before. Likewise, even a few weeks ago, the bundle that has a 3060 Ti, that one was selling for over $800. And you would get an EVGA 3060 Ti, I believe it was the XC3 model. And then you would get the same thing, the power supply, keyboard, mouse, etc. That one went from 800 something. Now it's down to like 729. So even though it's still a little bit pricey, if you figure 729 for RTX 3060 Ti, and you get a power supply, keyboard, and mouse, if you're going to get that for a build anyway, that's at least $100 to $200 value there. So definitely not the worst in the world, and you could see the price trend is going down. So everything, even on the secondhand, friendly neighborhood scalper market, the guy trying to sell you a GPU for an insane markup, even those prices have gone down considerably. Of course, the biggest reason for this is not probably any really increase in manufacturing or anything like that. During the last several weeks, cryptocurrency went through a pretty significant dip. I mean, it was a pretty big, price drop off from Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is going to be the most popular coin to mine with GPUs. Of course, you can't mine Bitcoin with GPUs anymore. It's all ASIC based. So Ethereum is the big one. It had a pretty shaky, a price reduction that caused a lot of people to first stop buying GPUs. Second, maybe start to sell some of the GPUs that they had. So those were definitely key factors. It's up a little bit now, but the GPU market generally will take a few weeks to react to whatever happens to crypto. That moves very, very fast. So by the time retailers get wind of what's going on, that's typically what you're going to see. Now, with this particular retailer, Antonline, I guess the way that they figured out to lower prices is that they would post their bundles up when they used to do it before. Like, let's say if they posted a 3070 for $1,100, bundle, which I've seen before, that would sell out almost instantly, and they could see, wow, we sold out in 4 minutes. Everybody bought the bundles. What happened after crypto went down, and I've seen them in stock considerably longer, like that same 3070 would stay up instead of for 4 minutes. Maybe it was up for 2 or 3 hours. Maybe it was up for most of the day. Some of them have even been up for multiple days because the price was just a little bit too high for what the market was stomaching. Now, when that happens, I'm sure they see that, and then next time they sort of, repost that bundle, pricing went down. For example, that 3070 went down to $999. So they'll keep an eye on that. If it sells fast, it's going to stay at that price or go up again. But if they still have trouble selling it, it's going to go back down. This is basically an example, a micro example of what happens in the micro market for GPUs. things sell out fast and instantly, companies raise prices. If things stay on the shelves, nobody buys them. Little by little, the pricing will go down because these companies do want to sell these GPUs. Maybe a notable exception is some of the AMD GPUs, which were priced really high off the gate. They stood in the shelves, especially Micro Center. Even online, you can find 6800s and 6900 XTs that were inflated pricing. They were in stock for literally months and nobody bought them and nobody reduced the price, so they stayed on the shelves. Nvidia is a little bit different story because of cryptocurrency mining. Some people, because of their return on investment when Ethereum was high, they're probably more willing to overpay for a GPU, thinking that a market is always going to be good and they'll get paid back. All right, guys, so let me know what you think. Give me some comments down below. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.